Okay.
the Cascades and the Flamethrowers. We want to first introduce players for the Seattle Cascades. Number 0, Kelly Johnson. Number 2, Cody Smart. Number 9, Tina Tincombe. Number 10, Lex Garrity. Number 11, Mark Munoz. Number 15, Adam Jamal. Number 20, and the captain, Charlie A.D. Number 21, Jess Spalding. Number 22, Peter Kurtz Larson. Number 24, Will Coffin. Number 26, Emily Zukowski. Number 28, John Kwan. Number 32, Alex Duffel. Number 44, Allison Horton. Number 45, Ryan Siegel. Number 50, Charlie Mercer. Number 77, Taylor Hartman. Number 81, Lonnie Wynn. Number 88, Jack Brown. And number 90, Shane Worthington. The Seattle Cascades. And now, the players for your champion, San Francisco Flamethrowers. Number 1, Jordan Jeffrey. Number 5, Melissa Hassler. Number 9, Andrew Berry. Number 34, Melina Weed. Number 11, Audrey Lyman. Number 14, Ellen Rim. Number 16, Xander Mass. Number 21, Byron Liu. Number 22, Marcelo Sanchez. Number 24, Eli Kern. Number 26, Kobe Wynn. Number 30, Maggie O'Connor. Number 37, Alex Pan. Number 46, Cheryl Sue. Number 42, Natasha Wan. Number 49, Vincenzo Vintiello. Number 53, D. Ray Williams. Number 36, Amanda Maru. Number 63, Mara Saltzman. Give it up for your San Francisco Flamethrowers. Introducing the referees for tonight's game. The head referee, Ali Mirabcel. Florence McKendall. Maxwell Plonk. And Simon Margulies. Thank you, referees. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you that you please stand and remove your caps. And please address your...
It's a historic evening in Oakland as the San Francisco Flamethrowers welcome the Seattle Cascades to the inaugural Flamethrowers Cup, live from Laney College in Oakland, here on the Bay Area Online Sports Network and 11 Sports USA. Alongside Matt Ruby, my name is Stephen Davies, as we usher in a new era of mixed-gender professional ultimate here in the San Francisco Bay Area tonight. The home, of course, of the defending AUDL champion Flamethrowers. It's been a little bit over a year then since the Cascades hosted the first ever mixed-gender game under AUDL rules in Seattle. And despite the final result, which was a 17-16 victory for San Francisco, the result didn't count towards either team's regular season record. It was, however, though, a trailblazing night for the sport and for the two pioneers of mixed professional ultimate. Tonight's game will be the first of a home-and-home series. The Cascades will host their second annual Cascades Cup game against the Flamethrowers on the 9th of June. And as we say good evening to Rubes, a little bit same rules, but a little bit different here tonight. Can you give us a little bit more of the explanation of the rules?
The primary difference we're going to notice is there's men and women playing together.
Sure.
It's really, in professional sports, it just doesn't happen, and it's one of the hallmarks of Ultimate that makes it so unusual and so exciting. The breakdown, since there's only 7 people per side on the field, it's always going to be uneven. So for quarters 1 and 3, it's going to be 4 women on the field and 3 men. And for quarters 2 and 4, it's going to be 3 women and 4 men. So in terms of the adjustments that these players are going to have to make for mixed ultimate, the men's game tends to be, as you can imagine, a little bit faster. Guys are generally a little taller. They run a little faster. So when they adjust their game to playing with women, they have to be a little more patient for watching those cuts develop, because things are going to develop a little more slowly maybe than they are accustomed to playing with men. On the flip side, women playing with men, those cuts might be coming a little quicker than they're accustomed to. So a big adjustment's going to be for the men to be patient, and for the women to maybe just things do a hair faster than they're already used to doing on the field playing, single gender ultimate. But those are, both these teams have a lot of mixed experience, so they've had plenty of opportunities to play, the gender mixed sport. And I don't think it's going to be a huge deal, but sort of on, broadly, those are things to think about when you're thinking about mixed ultimate.
So a couple of players that are here and aren't here tonight. No Leo Guval. We'll talk more about him after all the goal scoring and dancing he did last week. Yeah. He's probably still sleeping it off. Neither is Mark Burton. He had 11 goals in the 32-29 loss to the Flamethrowers. But some players that we will be seeing tonight: Jacqueline Kobe Wynn, who featured last week, a top 10 player of the week, and also the Bay Area debut of the youngest of the Titcomb siblings, Gina, and Captain Charlie Eide. So we'll be back then with starting lineups and opening pull here on the Bay Area Online Sports Network and 11 Sports USA in just a few moments' time.
What makes our restaurants different, the other taquerias, we have a very unique service where everything's cooked right in front of you. The meats are grilled right fresh in front of you. All the ingredients are made that day, natural ingredients, fresh produce, and natural meats. We have a happy hour that runs Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we have all the tacos are $1, beers are $2. We are famous for burritos. We seem to make just the right balance in the burrito, the right texture, the right moisture, juiciness, the flavor, very unique. We have 3 locations. We're a family operation, so we don't have a lot of locations, but we just have the 3 and run them hands-on, and to maintain all the quality, the service, and make sure everything is done right. My name is Guerrero Espinosa, and I'm one of the co-owners of Pancho Villa Taqueria, one in San Francisco on 16th Street, one in San Mateo, and B Street.
We are back live here at Laney College in Oakland, and we're going to get right to opening pull here. The Flamethrowers, interestingly, in the white uniforms today. We're used to seeing them wearing black here at Laney College, but tonight they'll be in the white uniforms. Going from left to right on your screen, the Cascades in their home blue uniforms. As a look at Jordan Jeffrey, he's going to get us underway here in front of a big crowd at Laney College.
So the wind is blowing from right to left, as always at Laney College. It's pretty windy right now. We expect it'll die down once the sun kind of drifts behind the clouds there a little bit, but for now, pretty windy.
It's worth, I think, for perhaps viewers that haven't followed us here at Laney College over the course of the last year and a half or so, as a first opportunity on goal and a one-handed catch and a score for Alex Duffel. He was instrumental in the loss against the Flamethrowers last week, and he gets his account off to a good start with a goal. Interesting
to see how the roles shift now that he's playing mixed, because Duffel was one of their key handlers. He was in almost every string play, and he just beats his man deep. Mercer with a nice bomb, and Duffel goes up a little early with the defender closing just to make sure. You may not recognize him because last week he was wearing that Joker makeup. I barely recognize him myself.
That's right.
He's got facial hair. Who knew? I had no idea.
It took about a quarter last week for us to name him the most easily or
recognized.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But the point I was going to try and make, though, is it's worth explaining to our new viewers here how the wind works here at Laney College, because it is a lot different to some of the other venues in the league.
So in Ultimate, you often refer to upwind or downwind, because when you're going upwind on offense, the wind is blowing in your face and it makes your offense can be much more difficult to operate than with the wind at your back. There's adjustments going both ways, but generally if you're going upwind, defense has a little bit of an edge. So right now the Flamethrowers are going downwind, which means the disc is going to get kind of blown maybe a hair past where they want it to be blown. So that's one adjustment. Upwind, you really got to take your opportunities to drive it upwind and play sort of almost a position like a punt style of offense potentially.
He's one of the stars of the Flamethrowers team. Marcelo Sanchez has only missed the one game in his 3 years playing for the Flamethrowers here in the AUDL. Here's a look at Natasha Wan. She's wearing 42. A chance for a first goal. Are they going to be just shy? That's unfortunate there for Wynn. Kobe on the doorstep and a drop. How unfortunate for Maggie O'Connor there. Just couldn't reel in the one-handed grab.
Now, the other thing the wind does is it can make what look like sort of routine plays a little more tricky. So it's possible the disc takes a little bounce there, or O'Connor just doesn't quite get a look at it until it's kind of right on top of her.
That was a Captain Charlie Idy sending that one forward, and Byron Liu reaches up and takes it away. Here's the huck down the other end. Can it be Eli Kearns for the goal? It can. It's Eli Kearns, his first of the day, and we are tied up at a goal apiece.
Now, something else that's going to happen a lot in mixed ultimate is there's not going to be much deep help. If a man goes deep, there are just fewer men on the field that can help out. This applies both ways. This applies to anybody going deep. So as a defender, you better have your head up, because as soon as this turnover happens, Kearns starts to break on it. Lou picks it up, and again, that wind at his back means that's a pretty easy 40 to 50-yard forehand for him. Going the other way, it's not going to be nearly as easy. You also generally want to operate offenses from what's going to ultimately be the top half of the screen, the top half of the field. That's where teams are going to want to run. And there's the flag. It's not whipping too bad right now, but the thing about Laney we've discovered is there's like these weird pockets. It's like one end of the field can be kind of still. The other end can be blowing. It's also, I describe the wind as almost in strata. Like 10 to 15 feet, from 0 to 15, it's one way. And then you go 15 feet over that, and the disc can behave completely differently.
There's a look at our current wind speed, 12 miles an hour coming out of the west-southwest. Chance now for Seattle to try and retake the lead, and the D there, nicely done by Melina Weeb.
Now, here's a great example of men playing with women. Duffel puts that disc up because he recognizes that his receiver may not be quite as fast as the people that he's accustomed to throwing to. He needs to throw it way up in the air and really let it kind of drift down a little bit, and that gives Weeb a chance to come under it and make a play.
Here's Ellen Rim. She's wearing number 14 to the center. Ooh. And now Jordan Jeffrey.
He had her.
He's looking to uncork one there.
He had Weeb deep. She plants and comes under and gets a big gainer. Oh, there's that bouncy wind again. A little behind our receiver.
It catches Xander Max out, and now at the other end giving chase. And unfortunate there as that disc was drifting out of bounds. It was Ryan Seagal that was giving chase.
So Smart puts that up. Cody Smart. So look at this disc. Look how high that is. He really needs to kind of drop it in the spot. Weeb comes down, makes a nice play on it. The disc is set up on the 40 because that's where it went out of bounds.
Jeffrey. Oh, nice D there. That's outstanding from Charlie Mercer. What a start to the game she's having so far today.
This is excellent. Xander Max, for some reason, gets super open, but Mercer, really nice, comes over his shoulder and just taps it out.
And we've seen throws on the downwind side that have just drifted away from players. That was a really nice throw from Jeffrey, but an even better defensive play from Mercer, who has a D now to go with a assist here in the early going.
It's not necessarily the most advisable throw because this half of the field, the bottom half of the field, really is where the wind is gonna hurt you the worst. You want to have it on the top half of the field. So to throw it from this trap sideline straight down the sideline is just a small window, and it's a tough throw.
Lonnie Nguyen over here to the near side. As
it's a foul.
Sheena Tickham is fouled.
We're going to talk about it here.
By Cheryl Sue. Sheena Tickham, by the way, wearing number 9 there in our shot. She'll get us back underway. Here's a look at the foul.
She really winds up to throw this, and that's how Sue can get in front of it. She winds up and whack, right on the wrist.
Cody Smart has a disc. He had a big second half in the loss to the Flamethrowers last week. A goal in the third, 3 in the fourth.
Yeah, he had a great fourth quarter.
Now the Cascades have it over on the far side. This is Seagal. Making a cut is Smart. Oh, there's not a throw you see every day, but it works for Cody Smart.
That is a push pass, everybody. That is a push pass. That is a high-release push pass. Any pass that at least I refer to a high release is something that's kind of thrown around shoulder level. But thank goodness he's got the wind at his back, because the wind keeps that down. You can release it high, and the wind's going to push it down into an easy spot to catch. Wow.
We'll take a break here on the Bay Area Online Sports Network and 11 Sports USA. Welcome back to Laney College. A goal then for Cody Smart has given the Cascades the lead.
On a crazy high-release push pass at 6.5. Nearly a stall there, but it pays off. Siegel with a crazy one.
Jess Spalding gets us back underway, and the Flamethrowers have it. It's still a little strange to see him here in the away uniforms.
Ooh, Antoine Davis just took his man deep and was open.
Byron Liu has a disc over to the far side now for Kobe. Coming back to it there was Davis. Not wearing a hat tonight. That's a little
And he cut his hair.
Yeah. A lot of space to work with here on the near side. This is Mara Saltzman. She's wearing 63.
Whoa,
Great
wow.
precise throw there to Audrey Lyman. Flamethrowers knocking on the door now. Here's Davis. Making a cut is Kearns. Kearns will come back to help out, and instead they pick up the open player there for the goal. And I believe it's Byron Liu. That's his first. So Kearns and Liu, the goal scorers. The Flamethrowers tie it up at 2 apiece.
I thought Davis had a couple of pretty good looks at two cuts in front of him from some female players. One right there, Weeb clears it out. Byron took his man to the back line, and just plants and comes back underneath for the easy one.
So tied up at 2 apiece. Smart and Duffel, the goal scorers for the Cascades. Liu and Kearns for the Flamethrowers.
I want to remind you all, please post your photos to Twitter and Instagram using the hashtag.
7:09 remaining then in the first period. These two teams will meet, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, for the second part of this home-and-home series. Cascades Cup will be June 9th in Seattle. And that comes on the back, at least for the Flamethrowers, of a tough prior weekend, as they will go to LA and San Diego. And then part of the team will travel into Seattle for that game on the 9th before a crunch home clash against the Spiders, the fourth game of that series on the 16th of June.
Flamethrowers have their work cut out for them to kind of get back in the race here in the West.
Oh, good diving catch there. Really nicely done.
By Seattle, keeping their offense
That
going.
was Lexi Garrity there. She's wearing number 10. Now Sheena Tickham has it in the center. Tickham, great throw there. Opportunity for Seattle to retake the lead, and it just gets away from the Cascades player here on the near side.
Smart play from Vitiello. He recognizes that there's someone open in the end zone, and he sort of just drops in and doesn't really mark his man that hard. And then Duffel just sort of has a little moment of miscommunication there.
Still count rising there on Jeffrey. Has to get rid of it. Over to Cheryl Sue, excuse me.
Stuffed.
And now Seattle,
Batted down.
as Sue's
Seattle takes over.
forehand was batted, as Roop said.
Yeah, Lanny Nguyen stuffs it right in her face, attempting the around backhand.
And now Tickham, great throw and a catch for Garrity, who almost had a goal just now. And Lexi Garrity
Seattle.
makes it 3-2 Cascades.
Number 10, Lex Garrity with the score. And Seattle takes the lead.
And that's Amanda Maru, who's on the mark, and I watched her earlier warming up. She's probably 5'2". Look at the height differential there between the marker and the thrower. It's pretty easy for Titcomb to step way around and throw a little outside in forehand break right under her marker's arm. So it's going to be tough sledding for Maru to mark her effectively.
Garrity then the first female score of the evening with 6 minutes to go here in the first period of play. So we mentioned no Leo Gavol, no Hunter Corbett.
Corbett's been out for a while.
He has.
I wonder when he's coming back.
I know when we talked to Greeno last week before the game against the Cascades that he would probably hold Corbett out at least for this game. So hopefully we'll see him back on the road trip as that picks up next weekend. But Gavol and Burton last week were, man, those guys probably slept pretty soundly that night, I would say, Rubes.
Yes, sir. Connor with a drop.
Mark Munoz will get us back underway. Let's dump it back to number 0. That's Kelly Johnson. They exchange passes. Johnson looks downfield. This will stay up high. Oh, great leaping grab there by Jack Brown. And now at the other end, it's another goal for Seattle, and it's Emily Zukarski who makes it 4 different scores for the Cascades.
Really a nice throw here. He's going to go up and get it, and then he recognized that the defender's got his back turned to him, so he just throws it to a spot. Excellent offense there from Seattle, and really kind of heady. As a handler, as a thrower, you need to process a lot of information very quickly. So as soon as he catches that, he turns upfield. He's anticipating seeing somebody open, and then he and his receiver both recognize that the defender is not looking, so he can just put it really anywhere and let the cutter just run under it for the goal.
Our officials, by the way, tonight, our head official is Ali Reza Marifsal, and then Lawrence McCandle, Maxwell Plank, and Simon Margolis. So just 31 seconds taken off the clock there for the Seattle goal, and they lead 4-2. This will drop right in front of Kearns. Byron Liu. Saltzman's open here on the downwind side.
Looks like they're stacking most of their women downfield with the exception of Davis. So there should be plenty of room for everybody to cut into.
Liu sends it forward. Sprawling catch there by Kobe. Back to the center now. Kearns calls for deep. Kearns is going to get it. Can Kearns chase after it? It's Kearns. Can he keep a foot in bounds? No, he can't.
Wow. Timing pass from hold on. Let's just see. I want to see.
Oh, he did.
Oh boy, that is a really close play.
I thought when I saw him make the catch that he had got it because he was definitely dragging the toe in bounds. Great piece of camera work there by the Bay Area Online Sports Network crew. Unfortunate there for the Flamethrowers to not cut the advantage to 1, but now back come the Cascades here. Adam Jamal, he's wearing 15. I still count there. One-handed grab by Spaulding. Morris Salzman on the mark.
Oh, nice inside-out break. He should have something here. Oh, he looked it off. He had a shot for a backhand there. He shook Liu on the broken mark.
Rising, Spaulding does well to make the adjustment, reaching up over Salzman. Now back to the disc comes John Quant. Now to Mercer.
Looking pretty patient, pretty together here for Seattle.
Johnson sends it forward to Quan, now on the far side. Dropping back.
Got to continue there. There's that continuation.
And Jamal. And Lawrence McCandle had a tough look at that one down here on the sideline because Munoz was going to the ground. Just couldn't quite keep his hands up underneath that low throw there from Jamal. Now here's the huck, and there goes Davis.
Man, Kearns just rips it. 35 yards upwind. Wow.
Davis had about 10 yards on Quant there.
Going back to that turnover from Jamal, that's just a tough one because if he just takes a second to kind of gather himself and get and sort of settle a little bit, that break comes off and he has no one anywhere near him. And if he just takes a breath, he can continue that for a goal.
Timeout then with the Flamethrowers trailing by 2. Back after this.
Thank you all.
Back with you then from Laney College in Oakland. We just saw a quick look at Coach Joshua Greeno, and off the timeout that was called by Davis, that throw just escapes the reach there of Cheryl Sue.
That's that male-female adjustment. You know, a slightly faster or taller man might have a chance to go down and lay out and make a play on that.
Wow, what a throw from Mercer. Somehow it is caught there by Shane Worthington. Bouncing off traffic there and still able to make the catch. Certainly the Cascades, it seems, Rubes, are more in tune with the conditions, I'd say, at this point so far of the game.
They seem to be really patient. I'll give them a lot of credit for that. Like, there's not a lot happening downfield. Oh.
And that is a catch and a goal for Charlie Mercer.
From Kelly Johnson.
The women have definitely started to contribute over these last couple of points there.
Absolutely. Kelly's kind of unmarked here. Throws just an around backhand. Seattle's really doing a good job of, when the disc is sort of swinging back and forth, you can see that the stack reforms. Everyone's kind of waiting to see where they should cut, where they should offer some continuation cuts. They're running a vertical stack, which is a stack that runs down the sort of the middle of the field, as opposed to a horizontal stack that runs perpendicular to the sideline. And a horizontal stack can often look like just organized chaos because you're running around like crazy. A vert stack is probably a really good choice for teams that have not played together a lot, because it's very, very clear what lanes are open to cut into, and if any defenders are playing off of their people. The term in Ultimate for that is called poaching, where you're not necessarily defending your person, you're covering an area, you're dropping onto somebody else. Very easy to identify poaches with a vertical stack.
First quarter here is flown by, and the Cascades now with a 3-goal lead. Jordan Jeffrey looking downfield. Open is Melina Weeb, and she just can't quite get to the disc.
She started her run pretty early and was open, but, you know, I keep coming back to this. That's the adjustment you got to make as a male thrower. You got to wait. You got to be patient. And when you're just hardwired, when you see somebody open with a couple steps, you just put it, and you're accustomed to putting it with a certain speed and a certain height.
Munoz there with the throw, an acrobatic effort there by Jack Brown, unable to come up with it. Jeffrey now double team will dump it off.
We haven't seen much of it, but occasionally you'll get gender switches or mismatches. So far, both teams have really been sticking pretty tight to their assignments. Ooh, there's a pick there.
A collision there between Shane Worthington and Ellen Rim. It's the first time, as well, as we call the name of the man with the disc in his hand right now for the Flamethrowers, Andrew Berry, off-season signing from the Spiders.
So coming back to if there's a gender switch, generally the men are going to have the advantage because they're just taller. Taller makes all the difference in the world. You can step around somebody. You can break their mark more easily. Was that was it a stall? Barry got stalled.
So the misfires then continue for the Flamethrowers here in the opening quarter. Clock ticking down towards the end of the first quarter. Oh, nice play. Outstanding there from the Flamethrowers.
Intercepted by the Flamethrowers.
Oh, boy, Jeffrey. Making it exciting.
That was Melina Wee. We've called her name a lot there with the D.
They've got time here, but they need to start thinking about putting something in the end zone in the next 10 or 15 seconds.
Cheryl Sue has it. Now over to Barry. Can he atone for his stall on the previous possession? Opportunity now for Ellen Rim. Now to Weeb. Alexander Max. Max with the throw, the catch, and the goal. And it's going to be Ellen Rim with her first.
It's a big goal. Big goal to end the quarter. Ending quarters on scores is huge. So, finally we see the Flamethrowers be a little more patient there and actually just work it down a little bit. Something else they're going to, when you play with people, you get an idea of what it is they like to do or don't like to do. This is Max. Well, she throws a little fake to freeze Rim's defender, and then a forehand for the goal.
So Ellen Rim joins Eli Kearns and Byron Liu on the score sheet. Flamethrowers within 2 with the final pull of this first quarter upcoming.
They've got time here to throw maybe 2 passes, I'd say. 2 passes towards the middle of the field, and then you want to jack it into the end zone.
And doing the honors here might be Duffel. It is indeed Duffel. Downfield open is Gina Tickham. Oh, it's going to be Antoine Davis, who gets in front of 2 Cascades players and ends the first quarter, 5-3 Cascades.
San Francisco Flamethrowers 3.
There's a look at Coach Joshua Greeno and his charges as we get ready for the second quarter here from Laney College in Oakland. The inaugural Flamethrowers Cup between the San Francisco Flamethrowers and the Seattle Cascades here on the middle weekend of this 2018 season.
So far, it's looked like Seattle's offense has kind of been a little more together. You know, they look a little more on the same page, a little more consistent. Flamethrowers have had a couple of overthrows, kind of some hucks into some I would call them force. You know, they kind of force the throw in there into some small windows. But close game, so we'll see how it goes from here.
Lexi Garrity, Emily Zukowski, Charlie Mercer, and Ellen Rim, all with goals for the Cascades and the Flamethrowers, respectively.
So 5 throwers for Seattle. Individuals have thrown goals, and 3 different Flamethrowers, Max, Lou, and Davis for the Flamethrowers.
So Kearns will send to Steve Byron. Lou's in acres of space. Lou with the catch, a couple of feet short, waiting for reinforcements to arrive, and it's Marcelo Sanchez with his first goal of the game.
Some kind of busted defense there. Lou, sometimes as a receiver, you start running down the middle of the field, and you just expect someone to cover you, and occasionally they don't. you look around and like, where is everybody? That's like he's probably thinking that because there was nobody near him when Kearns puts up this throw. Leaves him just a foot short, but he still scored the goal anyway.
So back-to-back goals for the Flamethrowers. Have cut the lead now to just 1. Here's a look at the replay.
Kind of a double team there. Sanchez cleans it up.
Sanchez had 5 goals last week against the Cascades. Ridiculous amount of scoring in that game, 61 goals. Rubes and I almost ran out of space on our score sheets for everything, especially for Gaval. 13 goals.
It's crazy. Him and Burton both, oof, my goodness.
Yeah, 24 goals between the 2 of them.
And Burton threw another 6.
Swinging out to Lonnie Nguyen. She's wearing 81 here on the near side. Here's Smart. Now over to Segal. Segal, that's an inch perfect throw. Giving Chase's win with a one-handed catch.
Wow. Perfect throw is right. That is a ridiculously small window to throw into. He lines it right down the sideline, keeps it, somehow he keeps that in bounds. It's got a little bit of outside in bend on it, So it keeps it in. It's going to kind of drift barely back. He's standing on the downwind sideline. This just bends barely in bounds. Wow. 1 foot down to score the goal.
Yeah, and that was parallel with the sideline, too. Excellent job of control there by Lonnie Nguyen.
As a defender, that's kind of the throw you want. Like, if it's not perfect, Melina Wiebe is actually in really good position to make a play on it. If it doesn't, either go over her head or basically go out of bounds and come back inbound, she can cut the angle and run right to the sideline and make a play on it. And you could see how difficult the catch was to score there. So not bad defense from Wiebe, just a better throw.
John Kwon gets us back underway.
And the pull is up.
Reestablish 2-goal lead now, have the Cascades.
They're trying to determine whether or not that bounced in bounds or not. Looks like it went out of bounds. It's very close to the sideline.
So it'll be Marcelo Sanchez to get us back underway. Cutting back is Saltzman downfield.
Ooh, a little breakdown here. Nice shake.
Alex Pan has it. Cutting to the middle is Antoine Davis. Davis with Worthington on the mark.
Oh,
nice D.
nice block.
That was Kelly Johnson, I believe, laying out similar to Kobe last week against the Cascades. Here's a quick look at it.
This is a great D. She comes kind of behind and under. She actually comes behind Kobe and kind of reaches around her to D that. Great.
One player not here today, unfortunately, Steph Lim. She had 3 goals last week in the loss against the Flamethrowers. Gina Schumacher, you might noted, played last week for the Flamethrowers, is not here today, unfortunately. She is sick. Number 36, Amanda Maru, took her place instead.
Just a quick drop there from San Francisco. From 63, Mara Saltzman. She's super open, too.
And we'll have a whistle there as
pick was called.
Charlie Eide has the disc off the pass there from Kelly Johnson.
I'm not sure if that throw went up before the call was made from Johnson, so it might be going back to her. Nope, it stays there. But she's going to lose some yardage.
So Eide has it. One of the 2 captains today, along with Alyssa Horton. Now Sanchez against Jamal. And Sanchez there, a wry smile on his face, reaching in with the right hand.
Yeah, kind of got him over the shoulder there. It's a foul.
Jamal. Oh, nice catch there by Johnson.
I was watching Johnson warm up earlier, and she definitely carries herself as a really elite ultimate player, and proving it so far.
Zukowski back to Munoz. They swing it to the center. Now Quant.
A good look off. O'Connor's got good D there.
Oh, and a mistake there by Quant. And credit that to Alex Pan to make things a little tricky for him there to get that throw off. And now Lou will send this forward. Davis rising high, collides with Sanchez. It's a way for him to get up.
Oh, that was sneaky of Sanchez. He drove Jamal underneath and held his spot so Jamal couldn't make a play on it, and gives Davis a free run to get the floating disc. Wow.
May not recognize Antoine Davis with a haircut, but you sure recognize the spike. Talk us through this play there, Rubes.
It's just a 2-man game. Sanchez gets the easy pass from Davis, and we've talked about it before. The guy will crush you on his first step. So when you throw a forehand, you're stepping onto your right foot, generally speaking. So for guys that are that quick, they're already a step or two out of their break as soon as the disc comes off their hand. But I want to go back to that turnover downfield from Seattle, because O'Connor really stuffed her cutter towards the front cone, which forced Seattle to turn around and attempt a more difficult dump pass, which results in the turn. And then Lou picks it up and jacks it downfield, and there's the result.
So I got to substitute the word uncork for jack at least once today.
Oh, yeah, jack, pump. That's a good one, too. Pump it.
Cody Smart to the center for Gina Tickham. Just 1 goal in, and now the Flamethrowers were down by 3 in the latter moments of that first quarter. Here's a great throw from Tickham, and it just goes out of bounds. Giving chase there was Peter Geertz Larson.
trying to sort of repeat what Siegel just did, but that wind is tough. It's gonna, if it's not a really, really, really properly executed throw on this half of the field or this third of the field, the wind's gonna blow it out of bounds. And that's exactly what we just saw.
The flag and the flag's on top of the football goalpost here are staying still for now. Giving chase, making a catch is Ellen Rim. She already has a goal today. Devin Williams to her right. Back to the center now for Max. And we'll have a whistle.
Timeout called.
A timeout called by San Francisco. That'll be their second. So with 7:49 to go, the Flamethrowers down by 1. Back with more from Laney College here in a moment.
Our smiles can light up a room. Our work can light up an entire city. We're the men and women of the IBEW, working with a code of excellence that guarantees the job will be done right, on time, and safely. We're lighting the path to the future. Let us show you just how bright that path is.
Welcome back to Laney College. So a timeout called by Seattle, or San Francisco, excuse me. San Francisco, and that's Deed and Cheryl Sue's throw.
Okay, she is tremendously lucky. Do you know why she's tremendously lucky? The disc was not blown live. This is one of the adjustments to playing Pro Ultimate if you haven't done it. There's a whole different set of protocols you need to become accustomed to that you just do not have to deal with in just standard USA Ultimate.
Being aggressively defended by Spaulding. So that one dropped.
Turnover, Seattle takes control.
And a mistake now by Seattle.
Oh, is there a foul call? Yeah.
Home fans did not like that one, Rubes.
We've been just informed that we've been mispronouncing number 34, Melina Weeby's name incorrectly, so we will adjust accordingly. Weeby.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thanks
we
for the
appreciate
call
it.
from the internet
Oregon.
out there. Ooh, almost on the D there.
ID to the center now for Munoz. That's a great throw. Can they get there with a one-handed catch? They can. And it's Jess Spaulding. That's her first.
From Johnson again, I talked about that sort of, you know, that kind of swagger. Not exactly swagger, but kind of the quiet confidence that someone carries themselves with during warm-ups, and she's definitely proven it. This is the first time I've ever had a chance to watch her play. Super impressed with Kelly Johnson so far. Nice around back. I see the marker is just barely behind the play. And unless she is getting ready to lay out and actually lay out directly in front of that thrower, when you throw that around backhand, your defender is really just trying to cut the angle. They're not getting ready to like dive in front of you to stop it. That was like my bread and butter. I ran that literally millions of times, that backhand on the fly when you're moving, when you got your defender moving to cut the angle.
One thing we should point out while we have a minute here, Rubes, is that in quarters 2 and 4, it's 4 men on the field.
That's right.
3 women, but so far for Seattle, it's been women scorers only here in the second quarter of play, courtesy of Spaulding and Nguyen. So the Flamethrowers down by 2.
Flamethrowers are leaving. Their deep space is open for their female cutters. Only 1 male cutter downfield and 3 women. The men are generally staying back. Keeping their defender out of the deep areas creates a lot more space for everybody else.
Weeby's open downfield. They'll throw to her. Weeby with the dive and the catch for the goal. That's her first. And the Flamethrowers trim the advantage to just 1.
Good thing we got that pronunciation right,
Yeah.
just in time.
Yep.
It's a nice throw from Vitiello. And Weeby has to go and kind of zings it a little bit past her. Kind of in a crowd there. Just gets 2 hands on it. High five.
So that makes 5 different scores now. 6 different scores, excuse me, for the Flamethrowers. Weeby, Rim, Lou, Sanchez, Davis, and Kearns. Just a goal in it.
So exclusively female scoring in this quarter so far.
For Seattle, yes. For San Francisco, no, because Sanchez and Davis. So that's our next issue to deal with here at Laney College. If it's not the wind,
you're
it's the
staring
sun.
in the sun. Yeah. So looking back, if you're running this way, let me get that arrow right. If you're looking back at the sun, then you might have trouble finding the disc if you have to look directly back into the sun, beaming right in your face.
And this will be a factor for about the next 25 to 30 minutes or so.
Look how long the shadows are, too. You can really see it.
Yep. As we approach the longest day of the year here in the Bay Area, still a few weeks away. And an acrobatic D there for Eli Kearns.
Great D.
Eli's father is here.
My former college ultimate teammate, actually, which is crazy. Titcomb is not shy about putting up shots here. Eli makes that nice. Remember we were talking earlier about how as a defender you're okay with that because you can go and cut the angle on that kind of stuff. That's exactly what Kearns does. He doesn't run to his man. He runs directly to the sideline and knocks the disc down on its path. Otherwise, if it has to be a really great throw that's going to bend around him. Instead, he can run down, cut the angle, and D the disc.
Byron Lewis fouls and move that forward 10 yards. And now it's Alex Pan. He'll give and go with Lou. And it's
just short, just shy.
So Pan now with a lot of traffic to deal with. Stall count rising. He's going to have to hurry this one up. He has to dump it off to Lou. And a timeout is called.
Good thing the quarter just started because they burned their timeout, both timeouts last quarter. From Coach Greenhouse's perspective, this is a big goal. This is an upwind. This could be an upwind goal that would also tie the game. Definitely a good time for a timeout. As a coach, you want to sort of let things develop. You don't want to just like pull the trigger immediately. You've got 7 seconds. So he let the clock run, and I'm sure he's keeping a mental clock himself there when it gets close to 7 seconds for that stall.
So the Flamethrowers trailing by 1 here with just over 5 minutes to go. Say thanks to our wonderful sponsors, the Catahoula Coffee Company, the Bay Area Disc Association, by Cliff Bar, by Boone Technical Clothing, Kinetic Arts Center, Minuteman Press of Berkeley, Waxy Sanitary Supply, Oakland United Beer Works, and lastly our friends at Airpark Airport Parking.
So they've got the disc in Kearns' hands here. Something happened. There's some confusion. Did they I guess they burned all their timeouts in the first half.
I thought.
Yeah, they already called 2, and I thought it was 2 1/4, but I guess it's 2 1/2. So it's a turn.
Cody Smart had to hurry up with that one. Chance for the D there, and a tough catch for Peter Geertz Lawson, and he takes the brunt of a hefty collision there with Eli Kearns.
That's Lou, actually. Oh, boy, that is just a risky floating pass in the middle of the field that everyone's got a shot to go get. Byron's in a decent shot. He's actually kind of worrying about Duffel. He's coming in to stop the pass to Duffel, he was standing in between those two guys. So glad there's nothing, doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the receiver there. Seems like he's okay. And he did get fouled.
Yep.
So let's walk it up.
So now Davis will be on the mark here as Segal gets us back underway. Here is Titcomb.
She's a huge throwing threat for them.
She's in space. She's continued to run down here on the near side. Cascades look to move quickly. Here's Smart with the blade and the catch for Will Coffin.
Oh, man. That is a dirty throw right there.
Will Coffin had 3 goals 8 days ago against the Flamethrowers and his first tonight.
Oh, man, he eyed it, too. He's eyeballing that throw the whole way, and the marker almost gets around to it. So smart. That's almost like dunking in your face, where you, like, stare at the break mark side for a while and still get the throw off and score a goal. Nice throw.
Back to a 2-goal lead then for the Cascades. The Flamethrowers, of course, took the inaugural Cascades Cup last year, 17-16. And I'm sure the Cascades would like to exact some revenge and take the inaugural Flamethrowers Cup. A reminder, the second game of this series, the Cascades Cup, the second edition of it, June 9th in Seattle.
Temperature's starting to drop a little bit now. Wind has died down a bit.
It's interesting. The cloud cover seems to have disappeared. You don't see it coming back anytime soon.
Here's an unusual sight at Laney College. People are outside in their T-shirts. They don't have their parkas and blankets out quite yet.
Here's Barry. Surveys the scene. Barry. Now to Amanda Maru.
Oh, nice dump. She could have gotten in trouble there. Oh,
Devin Williams there. Really rushed that. He was trying to find Jordan Jeffrey, but threw right into the ground. Seattle will get us back underway with Munoz, and diving and unable to make the catch over there.
What we haven't seen, what we have often seen is that teams will sort of run out of energy, and you see some kind of turnovers that you can attest to exhaustion. So far, both teams have looked pretty clean, and neither team looks tired. Everybody's still running hard, still look pretty spry.
Here's Maru. Now to Sue.
Oh, nice catch.
Great catch there by Xander Max.
Jeffrey's man is coming over to double every time. That's why Williams was so interested in getting it to him earlier.
Jordan Jeffrey finds the open player for the goal. It's Melina Wiebe. That's her second now of the quarter. And the Flamethrowers are back to within one.
So it looks like Seattle's defender, number 28 there,
Melina Wiebe's second goal in Rubes has trimmed this gap to one. And with the exception of the Cascades taking a 5-2 lead late in the first quarter, it's been pretty close the rest of the way.
This is Jeffrey's man who's off him because he's gambling in the middle of the field and leaves open a throwing lane for Wiebe to go and score an easy one.
Got a couple steps there in front of Kelly Johnson. Gina Tipcombe now to Smart.
Oh, he's pointing.
And he finds Lexi Garrity. So Garrity. Oh, wow. Mercer snatches that one. Now finds Smart. Mercer continues to run forward. Garrity has as well. Titcombe crouches to make that catch. Around to Garrity. They work it to the upwind side, and it's Mercer with her second goal. Goals in the first and second period for Charlie Mercer.
I'm definitely getting the sense that Titcombe is quite a lot to handle if you're a defender. She's tall. She obviously has excellent throws. She's thrown a couple of around forehand breaks that have really fueled pretty. There's that giant step. See that big step she takes? She's stepping right out around her marker, and that sets up Garrity to Mercer. That's the hockey assist. You know, we always talk about the hockey assist, the throw that sets up the throw. Perfect example of that. So I think Titcombe has been a really strong performer for Riot for years and is sort of in that elite level of ultimate player, probably among the best women players on the West Coast, if not in the country.
And it was a bit of a disappointment last week that we didn't get to see her on Friday night here at Laney, but She is being as advertised today.
Well, she's on the Cascades roster, the open roster. She plays in the games, the AUDL games that actually count towards their record.
So 3:10 remaining in the half. And the Flamethrowers looking to get back on equal terms. Here's Jordan Jeffrey. Now over to Rim.
So women are ISO downfield here. The men are generally staying out.
Melissa Haslett made a deep cut, then had to come back. Here's Rim. Now back to Jeffrey.
Jeffrey wants to pump it.
Barry will drop back in support.
Nice hammer.
Really nicely done there by Jordan Jeffrey. Now Rim gives chase.
Wow.
Rim just about gets there in front. And now the throw is just a little bit behind Wiebe.
Oh, we talk about the conservation of greatness. Rim makes a catch that sort of, you can see it's very, very close, and she's a little bit keyed up just from that moment, and really just tries to force one in there. She's lucky that results in a foul and not a D. That's a tiny window, and excellent defense from Seattle. It's unfortunate that the Seattle defender was called for a foul because she's playing great D there.
Charlie Eide, they call for the foul, so second lease on life now for the Flamethrowers, and they will capitalize on the goal for Vincenzo Vitiello off the pass from Wiebe. So she's having herself quite a second quarter, 2 goals now and assists as well.
She plays for, she's a lefty, so that's going to throw a marker off a little bit if you don't know. See how big that gap is between the two of them? If you don't recognize that your thrower is left-handed initially, you're so accustomed to being right-handed that you might be out of position, but Vitiello just dusted his guy. That has nothing to do with Wiebe's marker. You can't allow your person to get that open in the end zone that easily.
Wiebe, in fact, leads all Flamethrowers goal scorers here at the moment with 2. A goal apiece for Rim, Lou, Sanchez, Davis, Kearns, and now Vitiello, the latest to add a goal to the scorers tally.
She plays for Blackbird, which is a San Francisco team, as does Vitiello, so a little teammate connection there.
Charlie Mercer, the only other player for either team with multiple goals on the night so far. So,
pretty fast quarter here. Only 2 minutes remaining, and I feel like it's just blown by.
Compared to last week?
Yeah.
The game was about 2.5 hours.
There was so much scoring, and there's long gaps in between each. There's a minute in between each goal, so long game.
Still 90 seconds, a little over 90 seconds. Nice grab there by Peter Geertz-Larsen. Duffel has it. What a difference a week can make if you're Alex Duffel. Completely unrecognizable from last time. Cody Smart drops back for that one.
Oh, lefty backhand high release. Antoine Davis is just, as you like to use, he is hounding Cody Smart, and he's about 8 inches taller than him, too.
Davis and Quan, probably the tallest players on the field. Oh, that's running one-handed catch there by Wynn. Lonnie Wynn is Smart to her left. She'll pick out Cody Smart. Smart. Oh, wow. And the goal for Seattle. And it's Duffel with the goal. That's his second.
Nice patient offense from Seattle there. They get a little chunk yardage, and they dump it back to their handlers. They work it around a little bit, get another little 10, 15-yard pass, work it all the way up. Smart's going to survey a little bit. Yep, there's his man. Really open.
Byron Liu was the closest player there for San Francisco. But again, the Cascades keep it.
Up 2.
Yep.
Stick around, folks. We've got lots of fun halftime activities, and we'll also.
You can see the sun is still a factor here. Players are shielding their eyes coming this way, looking into the sun. But by the time second half starts up, it's probably going to be a non-factor.
You just took the words out of my mouth, because the halftime, especially for the team heading west, or facing west, I should say, become a lot easier on them. That's why we've seen the hats start to appear.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the likes of Jordan Jeffrey, who's made a deep cut. He got a step or 2 on Quans. Instead, they have to stay here to the downwind side now for Xander Max. And Jeffrey has it, and he's looking to pump one.
Oh.
And Barry can't hold on. He looks around for a call, doesn't get it. Nicely defended there by Munoz. So last chance now perhaps for Seattle.
20 seconds left here.
Munoz has it.
Ooh, power position. She doesn't put it up.
Now Johnson.
Here comes the hammer.
Got 10 seconds. Worthington.
The crowd. The crowd
They
counted down. They deked him.
Now Vitiello, one more chance here at the end of the half. Game and chases Ender Max. Can he get there? He can't. And the crowd.
Wow, the crowd deked the thrower, and it worked.
Well, quite the conclusion then to the first half here. But it's the Cascades. Thanks to 2 goals apiece from Charlie Mercer and Alex Duffel. Going to the half with a 10-8 lead. We're going to take a break then for halftime. We'll be back with all the first half action here on the Bay Area Online Sports Network and 11 Sports USA. Welcome back to Laney College, the inaugural Flamethrowers Cup, the Cascades. The visitors from Seattle with a 10-8 lead here at halftime. Thanks to our sponsors and the Catahoula Coffee Company, the Bay Area Disc Association, by Cliff Bar, Boone Technical Clothing, Kinetic Arts Center, Minuteman Press of Berkeley, Waxy Sanitary Supply, Oakland United Beer Works, and finally our friends at Airport Parking. Lots of halftime festivities going on here, Rubes, as we take a look at all the action then from this first half of play. Maybe not quite as many goals scored as we had here 8 days ago when these two teams met, but still no shortage of highlights all the same.
No, and I feel like the Seattle women are probably having a bigger impact on this game than the Flamethrower women are. It's a nice throw to Duffel. And then this connection we're accustomed to seeing a lot, Lou to Kearns. This is a really nice immediate throw off the catch to a defender that's not being. This is a fantastic throw. It just sticks on the sideline long enough to get 1 foot down from the receiver from Wen. A little two-man game. These guys know each other pretty well. We've probably seen these 50 times this season between those two. And then Johnson with a nice around break backhand as the defender is kind of trailing. Smart steps around, little around forehands, staring it down the whole way. And then Jeffrey to Wiebe, who's had a really good first half. And there's Wiebe throwing another goal.
4 female scores for Seattle, 3 male.
Yeah, Smart's had a good first half as well. You can see with we watched him last week, and he's definitely been a big handling contributor for the Seattle side. The wind's pretty much died for the time being. We always say that, and then it whips back up again. But right now, you see that flag is not really whipping quite as heavily as it was earlier in the day. Temperature's dropping a little bit, but it's still quite pleasant out there. Sunny. Players just enjoying really a beautiful spring day out here.
For the first time in what seems like 2 weeks, we finally have weather appropriate for Memorial Day weekend.
That's right,
so,
yeah.
So it's definitely a good time for it to happen. And
it's just fun atmosphere in general out here. There's a pretty big crowd out.
Yeah, the crowd is really filled in quite nicely here. Both ends of the bleachers here at Laney. And we saw it last week a little bit too, Roops, where players like Steph Lim and Kobe Wynn had their friends come out. And it seems like they've multiplied here so far today.
I think the Flamethrowers have a really big UC Berkeley contingent, Cal contingent, both men and women. So, Kobe's a current UC Berkeley women's player. Callahan nomination for their team. The Callahan is given to the best player in college ultimate. It's kind of like the Heisman. There's one for men and one for women. And she's the one of the nominees for that. College Nationals is actually going on this weekend in Nashville. Where's it happening? I don't remember. But maybe guys like this, maybe you'll see them at College Nationals someday. Ooh, lefty, nice.
Future Flamethrowers.
Future Flamethrower star, yeah. It's really fun to see a bunch of kids out here enjoying the day. They've actually got shorts on. It's a fantastic family event always. My kid loves it to come out here. Kids can go out and just kind of toss on the track as the game is going on in case, the attention starts to wander a little bit.
They've got the high jump pad out so you can lay out like Antoine or Leo.
That's right. But, yeah, really nice night. Fun event.
10-8 then the Cascades here in the inaugural Flamethrowers Cup. Back with the second half after this.
second half in just about a minute.
There's a look at the crowd here at Laney College on a beautiful evening in Oakland on Memorial Day weekend. We are almost ready to get back underway here in the second half of this 2018 Flamethrowers Cup. 10-8, the Cascades lead.
It's fun to look around the crowd and you see, we see professional jerseys out there. There's a Durant jersey directly in front of us. But I look around, I see a Sub-Zero jersey, which is a team in Minnesota. I see a young man running around in an Atlanta Hustle jersey. So it's just, it's kind of cool for somebody that's played the sport for so long to see that there's like a younger generation of people that really love it and they want to represent it out there, just like, the Warriors or the 49ers or pick your team of choice, you know? So it's really cool.
It's great advertisement, too, for, of course, having both men and women play
absolutely
on the same field, the same skill level. So
that's where USA Ultimate is trying to position themselves. If the sport ever hits the Olympic Games, one factor is going to be that it's mixed. It'll be the only mixed sports in the Summer Olympics is mixed tennis. So a mixed field sport is pretty awesome.
So we are back underway. Seattle in the blue uniforms, the Flamethrowers in the road white.
Well, there's that sun. There's that sun.
There's a mistake from Alex Duffel. Half backwards, too, worth noting.
The sun is super low now, so that thing's probably crossed right through. I mean, it hit him, directly where you want to, but he probably just, loses sight of it for just a split second there, which is enough.
Cheryl Sue gets us back underway. Barry has the disc. Barry with a chance to unleash this one. A chance for goal for Melissa Hassler. And she opens the Flamethrowers account here in the second half with her first goal.
She has an enormous cheering section that's directly in front of us. It's got to be 50 people, and they just all jumped off their seats for that one. It's a nice throw from Barry. He sees this cut develop a long way. As soon as this hits the sideline, Hassler starts her deep break, and it's a nice throw from Barry. The wind has clearly died because 45 minutes ago, that throw is not going to get there. At least not as gently and perfectly as it did.
We saw Hassler come over during the halftime interval to shake hands and give hugs to her friends that are down there in the front couple of rows, and now they've had their best moment of the day so far as Hassler gets the first goal of the half for the Flamethrowers, and now trailed by just one. But it seems like it hasn't been since the very first few minutes of this game that the Flamethrowers have held the lead.
I feel like it's been vacillating between 2 or 3 points for Seattle here the whole way.
Here's Cody Smart.
Oh.
Davis almost there with the D. Now Smart will send this one downfield. Gibbon chases Garrity. Can Garrity get this? Did she hold on? I think she did.
Wow.
It is a goal.
Great catch from Garrity. She has her defender beat, and another Flamethrower defender recognizes it and comes over to try to give a little help, but Smart puts it in a really nice spot. Really kind of the perfect spot where only Garrity can make a play on it, and she has to make a layout to make the catch.
Her second goal of the day. And
she's on her horse here. Dig, 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 yes.
Great catch. One-handed, gets the forefingers under the lip of the disc.
Sometimes it's actually, that layout might have looked a little bit awkward. It's not like she's, jumping off full speed or, 2 feet in full extension, but, it's actually sometimes easier just to fall down because you're not pumping your arms at that moment, and you can really watch the disc and concentrate on getting it with one hand.
So Garrity now with her second of the day, tied now with Mercer and Duffel with 2 goals apiece for the Cascades. And it's back to a 2-goal lead. Doesn't seem like either team is really playing like a strictly O team or D team too much. Just kind of open subbing. There's a one-handed snag there by Maru. Now Rim has it, And the catch here by Wiebe. Oh, inside out. Oh, she's kind of trying to back shoulder Max on that one. But the defender comes over, makes a play. Barry gives chase for San Francisco. That's an amazing snag, and could have been a very nasty collision there indeed with Barry, the trainers table in Worthington. Luckily, both players seem to be okay, but the training table definitely came off the worst of this one.
Great catch from Worthington here to keep his foot in bounds.
Oh, Barry took it down. That's why that wasn't a
good thing it's collapsible.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Now it's Johnson, and finding the open player for the goal is Mark Munoz, and that's his first.
Well, Munoz had committed a turnover a little earlier, so a little redemption for him there. Johnson just beats her person and gets a little floating inside-out backhand there, put in a nice spot where she can keep her marker totally out of the picture. Marker's like on her back, so she has nothing but open field in front of her to throw an easy goal. So it's a nice throw that sets up that goal.
So we've now got 9 different scores for the Cascades of the 12 goals.
Kelly Johnson's thrown 3 goals, and she's tied with Cody Smart. Both of them have thrown 3.
So all Johnson needs now is a goal to round off her impressive day so far with the 3 assists. And Jess Spaulding.
It's kind of a big goal here for Flamethrowers. If they're going to get back in this game, I think they're going to have to, this would be a big one. If they go down 4, I don't know what I've seen from both teams' defenses. I don't know if they can generate Ds.
Here's Pan on the run now to Natasha 1. This one's sent downfield looking for Lulu with an excellent positioning now. Win makes a run forward, and a foul is called, and a push in the back.
Foul, yep. That's kind of a sneaky old man play right there where you don't even jump. You just hold position. He's just going to hold his position. A little shove. He's got both hands in his back. It's not really much. Oh, it's a turnover, though. You can hear the crowd explode there.
Byron Liu with the assist and the goal for Antoine Davis. That's his second. And I think the Byron Liu fan club is almost as big as the Melissa Hassler fan club here at the moment.
Well, I mentioned I saw somebody wearing a Hustle jersey. It's a Byron Liu Hustle jersey.
I saw that.
He played in Atlanta before he moved to the Bay Area a couple years ago.
But that was a goal. Certainly the Flamethrowers down 3 definitely needed that.
Absolutely. Kind of a straightforward play here. Byron just runs and picks it up. Kind of a scramble defensive situation for Seattle. The turnover occurs, and it's a little bit of a jailbreak situation.
Look at Coach Greeno there, patrolling the sideline.
I wonder how much coaching he's actually doing tonight per se. He might want to lay out a couple of things for them to try to stick to, maybe a couple of adjustments here and there, but they haven't have an offense they're running or anything like that.
A little trouble there was Gina Titcomb, and now she has to make an adjustment. Is actually just about able to get there in time. I think she might have lost the hat initially. Now throws it over to Smart. Back to Titcomb.
Ooh, double team. Good double team. But there's a foul.
There's a blown foul called against the Flamethrowers.
So Weeby's really taking away that around forehand that seems to be Titcomb's bread and butter. Oh, nice throw.
Excellent throw, and a running catch is made by Alex Duffel. He is now the leading scorer for both teams of the goal in the first, second, and third periods of play. And the Cascades back on top by 3.
I believe that was Sagel. He really loves that backhand. He has no fear about throwing that standing 10 feet from the sideline, just winging it down the sideline and dropping it into a great spot.
Seattle scores 8:53 left in the third.
Still plenty of time remaining here in this third quarter of play. But the Flamethrowers have been able to, or have been, I should say, unable to get back on equal terms in this game. Cascades just able to keep their noses in front.
Yeah, still plenty of time, though. Seattle's offense, I think, has looked a little better. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It just looks a little cleaner.
And the pole is up.
Definitely on offense, at least, it seems to have perhaps a little more sense of understanding about how they all interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Flamethrowers had some uncharacteristic errors, perhaps, that derailed their progress in the first period in particular. Seemingly have settled down a little bit since. Sanchez has made a deep cut. He had a step there on Worthington. While Wynn will get D'd, and that will go out of play there. As battling for it was Emily Zukowski against Maggie O'Connor.
O'Connor really needs to go to that a little harder. As soon as that throw goes up, she should alter her path so she really comes to meet the disc and don't let the disc meet her. Gives her defender a chance to just step in front and tap it out of bounds.
So from the upward side, we're back underway. Here's Kelly Johnson already with the 3 assists, like you said. Picks out Munoz, and on the run, it's a catch for Jess Spalding. That's the second goal. And the Seattle women are making a big impact in tonight's game, Rubes.
Really just nice-looking offense. As soon as Johnson gets that, the disc comes around. She throws a little forehand, a little forehand fake. Her marker overruns it, and they work it back up the break side. Like, nice-looking O.
Cascades by 4. Back in a moment. We are back then at Laney College in Oakland, and the Cascades now have their joint biggest lead of the game so far. And Munoz was about to get us back underway, so we'll just have to hold their horses here for a minute.
Hold your horses.
And they're under starters' orders. So you said a little earlier, Rubes, that getting down more than 4 goals might be a little tough now for the Flamethrowers the rest of the way. Jordan Jaffrey now to Maru.
Let's see if they can come out and have just kind of a clean, flowing point of offense. I feel like their offense has just been harder, you know? Seattle's offense definitely is just looks like it's operating more smoothly. There's not sort of as many stoppages.
Mm-hmm.
So right here we have a little bit of, oh boy. Yep, saw that coming a mile away, and so did Kelly Johnson.
With the D, and now makes a cut. She had a couple steps on Barry. Munoz over to Charlie Eide. Now to Munoz. A spinning catch there from him. Oh, nice throw for Munoz, giving chases Worthington, and Worthington with a height advantage makes an easy catch. Shane Worthington's first goal of the day. He had one last week when these two teams met, and that's a big blow there for the Flamethrowers.
So really nice throw from Munoz. It's an inside-out backhand. He recognizes that Worthington has worked his way to the middle of the field, and then he's going to kind of peel. He works to his sideline and then sort of peels towards the middle. Man, nobody in the picture at all. Worthington leaves everybody behind. That was a quick turnover from Johnson, and what we were talking about in terms of male-female switching. Barry has to switch on to Johnson because she basically gets the run-by block. So she runs, she never even breaks stride. She goes deep. Barry has to drop off, and then there's that, you sort of feel like you need to get that gender matchup set up again, so then Barry maybe abandons her. Mad scramble goes on, and Munoz finds himself with no marker and throws a nice inside-out backhand goal.
So the pull from Charlie Mercer. And the Flamethrowers now, this is their biggest deficit of the game so far.
Ooh, Kobe was open deep.
So waiting for Kobe to get her first goal of the night.
She's being really well defended right now. She's taking her person all the way downfield and all the way back. Oh, here we go.
Here's an opportunity now for Marcelo Sanchez. He has a step on his defender. Adam Jamal drops back, but it's Sanchez now looking around for Kearns. Kearns has it for the goal. That's Kearns' second, and it's back to within 4.
Sanchez to Kearns for the score.
I was trying to see that before the play developed, Roops, but who has got the task of covering Kobe at the moment?
Oh, I'm not sure. This is just Sanchez just beats his man deep. Here comes the flood of everybody. Easy one for Kearns. I want to say it might be Mercer. I think Mercer might be covering Kobe right now.
Charlie Mercer's had an outstanding game. 2 goals for her and an assist. And so far has kept winning off the scorer's sheet. Sun almost now set behind the horizon, another 10 minutes or so. Let's look at the shot with Laney College there in the background.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Should be a very nice weekend around here.
My garden might actually grow now.
Gina Titcomb has it.
A nice fake.
She's working against Melina Wiebe. Over to Smart, now back to Titcomb. Lonnie Wynn on the run.
Nice inside out break here from Titcomb. She's definitely the quarterback here. Big fake. Wiebe's doing an excellent job of really preventing her from breaking the mark on that around forehand.
Here's Smart.
Oh, they're in trouble now.
Still count rising here on Titcomb. He's going to have to hurry this up. There's that
that
throw we
around.
saw again earlier. Now it's Mercer. Titcomb is in position. Smart calls for it. Xander Max defending. There's the blade, the catch, and the goal for Will Coffin, his second.
Smart really likes that throw and really likes that spot. He's releasing it. It's kind of he releases it sort of high, almost at shoulder level, and it's a forehand blade. A blade is a disc that doesn't travel flat. It's got really that sharp edge. It's coming down like that. It's really dropping in on a pretty sharp angle. That's the second one I've seen him throw. He looks really comfortable throwing that.
That's the kind of possession that we just saw from the Cascades, though, that I think safe to say, Roops, the Flamethrowers have been unable to replicate today.
Definitely. Well, what's interesting about the Cascades offense is it's very easy to identify who they have decided they want to run the disc through. The disc is going to run through Titcomb and Smart. And when you're playing with a team with a bunch of folks who are not really familiar with each other, it's really, really, really useful to know who is the man or who's the woman or who's like, okay, we're going to run our offense through these 2 guys, So you don't have any confusion. It's hard to just kind of defer, but that's clearly what Seattle's doing. They've got a game plan. They're sticking to it. Nice fake.
It's also interesting, too.
Oh, he got stalled.
Now it was on Eli Kearns.
Whistle goes against San Francisco, losing.
So a stall, for those who aren't aware, is when you get the disc, you have 7 seconds to throw it. Oh, wow.
Just out of the
Sorry,
reach.
I had to stop for that because that would have been amazing. You have 7 seconds to throw it. The referees it's like a shot clock in basketball, essentially. If you don't release the disc within 7 seconds, it's a stall and it's a turnover. So it's like a 24-second violation. Same idea.
That was Jess Spaulding making the bid, unable to come up with it. So the Flamethrowers now with 5 minutes to go in the third, trailing by 5.
Ooh, good.
What a throw.
Yeah, he really needs to bail out there. Needs to kind of release that pressure.
Wynn's got a step on her defender. Wynn is going to give chase into the corner and just can't get there. She had at least a couple of paces on Jess Spaulding.
Oh, that's a tough one. Davis wants that one back because she was open and calling for it. They're on the same page. Davis is definitely looking for her the whole way. I guess there's just enough wind. You remember earlier in the game we saw a throw that you really need to kind of put it up high. So men throwing to women, they either need to throw it up high and let it kind of settle into a spot, or they got to wait. And if you wait, your defender can go in and then make things harder for you.
Davis with the D.
God, he makes it look so easy, doesn't he? Super effortless, just kind of boing. Make it look really like he's not trying hard at all.
And Shane Worthington is not a short player. Now Davis looking for Kearns. Kearns tiptoeing the sideline, and it just tails away from him there as he stepped ahead of Munoz.
Oh, it's almost an identical spot that Davis just threw. The wind, it must be picking up a little bit because stuff is getting blown out of bounds. Kearns is thinking, oh, look at that. He just roofs everybody. He's waiting. There was a foul call there.
Timeout called.
On a timeout.
So with 3:41 remaining, the Flamethrowers are down by 5. We'll be back with more after this.
And with 3:43 left to go in the third quarter.
Welcome back to Laney College in Oakland. A timeout called here with 3:43 to go in the third. The Cascades in command here in the second half. Something we noticed during the halftime interval, Rubes. Of course, the women have 4 players on the field in quarters 1 through 3. 5 goals in the first, now 6 here in the third.
I think the Seattle women probably are stronger, a little stronger than the Flamethrowers women, and I'm pretty sure the Flamethrowers men are a little stronger than the Cascades men, and you look at those, the women are definitely having a huge impact for Seattle. When there's more women on the field, they're going to have an even bigger impact.
And by comparison, the Flamethrowers, as Davis is hurt there, looks to be.
I don't know what just happened to him.
Too. I didn't either. I was just looking down at my score sheet. By contrast, just to go to conclude that point, scoring for the Flamethrowers, 3 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third. So your theory there might well be right there, Rubes.
Well, you know, Titcomb and Johnson clearly are very, very, very high-level elite players. And you have more opportunities for them to be out there. You have 2 less guys, really, to clutter up things deep. And the game just opens up for them.
Gina Titcomb here has to get rid of it, which he does to Smart. Or to Duffel, excuse me. Didn't recognize him without the face paint. Now it's Cody Smart.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and good effort there by Alan Rim. The foul was called, and Lonnie Wynn will get us back underway.
In control.
Over to Duffel. Calling for it down here to the near side is Allison Horton. Spectacular effort there to keep that play alive by Lonnie Wynn.
There's nothing glamorous about that. You just got to dig it out and slap your face off the turf.
This is just another well-engineered point, and it's Titcomb for the goal. And we said it before, after that long previous possession resulted in a goal, that Seattle have just been better at doing that all game long, and it's Gina Titcomb now with her first goal of the day.
Just a buttery throw from Smart. He doesn't really even throw that particularly hard. That's just a little wrister, soft. Just a soft throw. Wow, that is just gorgeous. Man, that's a great throw.
6 different female scorers now for the Cascades on the evening. And
Titcomb kind of doing it both ways there. Previous possessions, you see her back around the disc where she's, you know, a lot of things are running through her. And on that possession, she takes her person deep and scores.
So we just need goals now from Horton, Idy, Johnson, and Hartman. And every woman would have scored for Seattle. But as it stands, 6 at the moment for the Cascades.
I don't see Davis on the field right now, but he's not being tended to either. He's standing on the sideline, so whatever happened to him must not be that serious. He didn't look like he was in that much pain. He just kind of looked mildly disgruntled.
A huge component, though, at any sort of push that the Flamethrowers are going to have.
Here's Johnson again.
And now she might have a chance for her first goal. And Munoz and Johnson just not on the same page. To quote Rubes, He thought he was getting zigged.
Zigged when he should have zagged.
Yep.
Exactly.
But Johnson, I mean, would have been wide open, was behind the defender, had a couple steps at least. So let off for the Flamethrowers there, trailing by 6 with under 2 to go. Here is Hassler. She had her first goal of the half earlier on here in the third. Here's Barry.
Oh, boy.
Oh, what a
nice
D
D
by Munoz. Laying out to swat that one down.
Kind of had to happen, too, because Barry had 3 Flamethrowers receivers who were all deep of their defenders.
Charlie Idy.
Ooh, great mark from Weeby. Wow. Oh, boy. Really an excellent, excellent mark from Weeby there. And the fans do not like that one lick.
The boisterous home crowd here at Laney. Now to Worthington.
It's got playoff atmosphere, doesn't it?
It does. Now it's Johnson. Johnson back to Munoz.
Just need to move it. Oh,
There's
boy.
the blade around to Worthington. And Shane Worthington has his second goal of the quarter. And the Cascades now very much in the driver's seat in this inaugural Flamethrowers Cup.
Under a minute left to go here in the third.
So we were talking earlier about how an offense can defer here. They isolate Worthington in the front of the end zone, and look how much room he's got there. He's got one whole half. Oh, boy, yeah, rub that on there. Oh, he's getting some sunscreen off or something. But an important part of offense is also knowing spaces that you shouldn't be cutting into or what you shouldn't be doing. In an example like that, they probably just said, okay, first person in the stack, that person's isolated, stay out of their way, let them work. They can have both halves of the field. So from Barry's perspective, he doesn't really have any help behind him. And as soon as he finds himself, maybe he takes one step too much towards the thrower and that space behind him is open, then Munoz has got a good big 20-yard window to throw into. Davis is back out on the field. So whatever happened, not too bad.
Seems to be okay at the moment. Flamethrowers needing a spark here, though, in the final minute or so of this one. Can it be provided by this man, Antoine Davis, up high there for Sanchez. Continuing the run is Maggie O'Connor. Can O'Connor get there? It just tails away from her at the end of the play.
Seattle will take over.
That's that men throwing to women thing again. Just got to be a little more patient, take a little bit off it. Oh, wow.
And
that
that was,
hand block.
Yeah, it was deflected there by
Nat
by,
Wan.
Yep.
With a chance to score.
That one's up and caught by Eli Kearns. So Kearns now with 3 goals.
24.
Nice sequence there from Juan. She hand blocks Kelly Johnson. Johnson's really anticipating a foul being called. It's not. That's another big adjustment here. And then she gets the disc back and zings one to Kearns. So if you've not played a lot of Pro Ultimate, again, even that's something to adjust to. Like if there's no whistle, then play continues and you cannot stop. And you saw Johnson kind of looking around, anticipating something, but Juan has played a little more pro, maybe. She keeps going. She runs out there, gets an easy pass, and then throws the goal.
12 in favor of Seattle.
So a 6-goal lead now for the Cascades. Final glimmers of sunlight there as you see the players shading their eyes, but about to become a non-factor here as the floodlights take full effect. Davis's pull.
Oh, I think they might have been offsides. Somebody was offside. Yep. Wow, with 20 seconds left, that is a bummer because you don't want to give a team half the field. They're, 50 yards closer.
Foul was called against the Flamethrowers.
And the
It'll move.
efficiency of the Seattle offense at stages in this third quarter of play. You fancy that the Cascades could get one more goal before the half. And just as I say that, Tickholm's throw for Smart. And now a chance for the Flamethrowers with 10 seconds left.
One of the few times those two have really miscommunicated. They've been really on the same page most of the game.
It's going to be up to Audrey Lyman. She'll put this one up, looking for Devin Williams, and it falls to Davis. Antoine Davis with his 3rd goal of the day.
Antoine Davis with the
Wow.
It's always the player that trails the play,
It's
right,
always
Rubes?
the player that trails the play. This is not a great throw. This bends over everybody. And Davis with the goal.
Audrey Lyman with the assist. Back with the 4th quarter from Laney here in a moment.
narrow in the margin to
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green. Family owned, Gray's Paints is the Bay Area's leading provider of Benjamin Moore paint, stains, and finishes. Gray's Paint will provide you unparalleled paint expertise, environmentally friendly products, and premium customer service to help you successfully navigate your project. Gray's Paint and Benjamin Moore, available at 4 Bay Area locations: Burlingame, San Mateo, Redwood City, and Menlo Park. Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green.
We are back for the fourth quarter then of this inaugural Flamethrowers Cup. And what a way to end the third quarter of play as Audrey Lyman picks out Antoine Davis, the final play of the game.
We were talking about players making adjustment to pro. I guarantee Audrey Lyman has never found herself in a situation where she has the disc and she has to throw it in the end zone now. And I bet when she got it there, you know, she hears the crowd counting, and with like 2 or 3 seconds, she just occurs to her like, oh boy, I need to throw this in the end zone like immediately.
Luckily, Antoine Davis is on the other end of it.
Yeah. So let's see if the Flamethrowers can continue this push now. So we swung to 4 men and 3 women. Men can be a little more dominant here.
To start the fourth quarter.
Sanchez gets us back underway. Exchanges passes there with Juan. She has a disc. Now back to Kearns. Lou is open downfield. They swing it to the far side now for Wynn. And Kobe picks out Byron Lou. Ready to Flamethrowers a little more energy, it seems like, coming out of the interval there between the third and fourth quarters of play. Kearns.
Yeah, looking clean. Pretty good flow here. Stalls a little bit there. She wants to get it off the line here. Don't just force it into that tiny, tiny sideline pocket.
Back to Pan.
There we go.
So Juan still has it. They work it to the upwind side. Kearns. Oh, and it's dropped. Worthington might have got
turnover.
A hand to that one. Difficult to tell if that was a drop by Pan or if Worthington got a pour in there, but that's unfortunate for the Flamethrowers. It was almost a minute there off the clock taken by that particular possession. And now back the other way come the Cascades. This should be easily D'd by Marcelo Sanchez, which it is.
Little miscommunication from the cutter. Oh, wow. Nice bit from the cutter and the thrower there.
Laying out for that one was Shane Worthington. Sanchez, Brown on the mark. Now to Kearns. Open deep as Maggie O'Connor was wide open there for a minute. That's Sanchez.
Well, Kobe's open too. But Sanchez looks it off.
So Johnson has the assignment of marking Kobe at the moment. And that's just too tall there for Kearns. John Kwan.
I'm surprised Byron Lou didn't get a foul call on that because he kind of got shouldered by his marker there.
Here's Spaulding. Idy to Johnson. Oh, what a throw. Boy. There we go. Giving chases. Quad, and it's Byron Lou lays out.
Wow. That is an incredible effort from Byron Lou. He might have just injured his hamstring, unfortunately. Oh, boy. What an amazing block from Byron Lou because he is beat. And that is a really nice throw from Johnson. He makes up a couple of steps and just springs past the man he's defending. Byron's always been a really super springy, very fast guy, but he is beaten right here. He is really beaten. He makes up a 2 or 3 steps. Wow, great D.
How about that outside in forehand, too, from Johnson? I mean, that you could not have thrown that any better.
No, that is really on the money. From Quan's perspective, you know, he's got Byron beaten, and he's a big body guy, so he's probably just working under the assumption he probably very seldom gets beaten to a spot like that.
Back to Juan. Win to the far side. Ooh, that throw was somehow plucked out of the air by Sanchez. It was almost upended, or actually was, by Brown. Now Davis has the disc.
There goes Sanchez.
Sanchez drops back inside of Brown. Now Kern's on the run. Win to his left.
Sanchez is open, but he's getting looked off, so he's kind of clogging that sideline.
Now for Davis.
It's been a long point.
Seeing a lot of time off the clock, and Davis get there ahead of Worthington. He can. Antoine Davis has 4 goals tonight. He had 3 last week when these two teams met. 3 of those goals now here in the second half.
That's Kern's first assist, which I actually find surprising considering we are, 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. But all that's fueled by that Byron Liu run-down block. And then just a kind of a clean-looking point of offense here. Kearns just kind of throws that in rhythm. He's got his momentum running upfield, so he can see what's happening ahead of him. Antoine Davis once again.
4 goals to him, leads all scorers for the Flamethrowers. First goal of this fourth period of play, though, comes at the 2:54 mark of the fourth quarter. So Flamethrowers really thought they were going to have a goal on that opening possession before a late mistake. They're forced to wait a while, and now the lead is back to 4. Titcombe has the disc to Smart. Smart is dealing today. Looking over there, your cheat sheet with 5 assists.
Yeah, he is really dealing.
Oh, nice D there by Wiebe. Now the Flamethrowers will get loud.
That is on Garrity. That's absolutely on Garrity. You notice that when that throw goes up, she doesn't go to. She actually runs away from the disc and gives Wiebe a window to cut into to make the D.
And Wiebe will score her 3rd goal.
Bookends for Wiebe. So that's very similar to some blocks we've seen earlier from Kelly Johnson. That's that run by D where your defender is flat-footed or going the other direction. You block it and you just keep on trucking downfield. If nothing else, if you don't score yourself, you're going to create some chaos downfield because other defenders are going to recognize there's someone who's wide open. They're going to start switching. They're going to start losing. Their attention's going to start to wander off their own person. So it just puts a lot of pressure on a defense when you flip from O to D. When you get the block and you go immediately on O and you have a free person downfield, all hell kind of breaks loose.
You saw that just briefly as they showed the shot of the huddle there for Seattle with Gene Titcombe giving instructions to the rest of my teammates. The Flamethrowers now are within 3. We're down by 7, I believe, at one point.
Well, we talked about that gender adjustment. Here come the Flamethrowers when they get 4 men on the field.
The home fans are really stepping up. Blade over to Titcombe.
Boy, Seattle is really committed to this being Smart and Titcombe show because they're really isolating the two of them with a big pocket in between them and any other cutters downfield. Oh, number 22 was really open deep there.
Crowd really getting behind it.
Slartson was open.
Just going to say the crowd really getting behind the team here right underneath our commentary position here, Elaney.
As defenders here, with this much gap in between the handlers and the cutters, you can get away with playing underneath your guys a little bit because the Huck's probably not going to get off. Oh, boy.
Uncorking this one is Alex Duffel, and it's just too far out in front for Peter Geertz-Larsen.
Hey, great example of that underneath defense. Max is playing underneath Geertz-Larsen, and he's really going to make the thrower beat him to the spot. The throw doesn't quite get there, so it pays off. A little bit of a gambling defense, it pays off.
So Flamethrowers within 3. Jordan Jeffrey has the disc. There's still plenty of time. 7.5 minutes to go here in the fourth of this inaugural Flamethrowers Cup. Jeffrey.
Oh, boy. It's an okay idea. He had rim open deep. After she dumps it, she goes, but you can really kind of see that the Flamethrowers offense is a little disjointed just because people don't exactly know who's supposed to be doing what at certain times, and you see the women being really deferential to dumping it every time they get it. Oh, easy one.
Cody Smart over the top and an easy goal. The score and a little dance there for Seattle. And it is Ryan Segal. That's his first. Back to a 4-goal lead.
This is a pretty easy throw here. because he is tremendously open. Smart's already demonstrated the ability to throw that crossfield hammer. The wind has pretty much died, so it's kind of a thrower's paradise out there right now. If you've got a blade or you've got a hammer or you've got a scuba, now's the time to break them out.
Thanks to our sponsors here for the San Francisco Flamethrowers, the Catahoula Coffee Company, by the Bay Area Disc Association, by Cliff Bar, Boone Technical Clothing, Kinetic Arts Center, Minuteman Press of Berkeley, Waxy Sanitary Supply, Oakland United Beer Works, and lastly, Airpark Airport Parking. 7 minutes to go, 4-goal lead for the Cascades.
I feel like when the Flamethrowers offense is out and Jordan Jeffrey is kind of the primary cog, things don't run quite as smoothly as they do when it's kind of this group. When it's Byron, Kearns. Ooh, speaking of Kearns.
Wow, Kearns has to look around and get on his horse and just saw just a fraction too late there, Rubes. He had to turn around and see Lou uncorking him.
He started to go deep, and I don't think it comes immediately, or as a cutter, you often wait for the up call to then look around for it. Kearns Lou really threw this pretty hard. Oh, Kearns goes for the sneaky block.
Munoz, under some duress here, is able to get rid of it. But time continues to tick down now for Worthington. Cascades have led by as much as 7. Now Johnson, two-handed catch.
Ooh, she's got somebody open deep.
Coming back to it there was Taylor Hartman. And that one through the hands there of Byron Lou.
She had Jack Brown deep, and that's who she was trying to get it to. But a little too far.
Here's Lyman, who had that assist at the end of the third quarter. Over to Kearns. We have a whistle.
Foul call.
Offensive foul. So they're going to walk it back 10.
That'll go against the Flamethrowers. It'll move it back.
Kearns pleading his case with our head referee, Ali Reza Marafsal. Here is Lyman. To Lou. O'Connor was calling for it and said he'll go over the top. Antoine Davis, that would have been a spectacular catch.
My goodness. Wow.
Great effort by Davis.
Byron Lou with 2 just laser shots. One to Kearns early this point, and that one to Davis. Man, if he had caught that, that would have been amazing. The thing was like past him when he got his hand on his behind him.
His body momentum was going the same way the disc to try and make that adjustment to make the catch. However, would you have been surprised if he caught it? No, I wouldn't have been either.
Not a bit.
Johnson has it. Ooh, trying to foot block there was Kobe. Nice throw by Johnson, indeed, spectacularly by Byron Lou. Now Kearns has it. O'Connor's made it cut deep.
Hammer throw.
Now it's Wynn. O'Connor seams forward. O'Connor has it a yard shy, looking for Davis. And Antoine Davis makes it number 5.
Man, Byron Lou's defense really fueling the Flamethrowers here to keep them in this game. That's really a good example of really excellent team defense that leads up to the point where Byron is in position to make that D, because Johnson is looking around for quite a while, and then she has to kind of throw something, you know, maybe not to the spot exactly where she wants to, where she has to bend it over an entire bunch of people that are kind of cluttering the space in front of her. And Byron can definitely smell it. When it gets high into the stall count here, gets high into the stall count, and Byron knows he needs to close on his guy, and boy, does he. Look at him close. I'll have that. Thank you very much.
Snatches it away from Munoz.
Then O'Connor puts it in.
So Antoine Davis now goals in the second, third, and fourth periods for number 5 overall. He leads all scorers on both teams.
I don't really care who wins this game because it's been a really fun game to watch, but it would be really super exciting if it came down to like 1 or 2 to end it. Really get the crowd fired up and on their feet.
Ooh. Scrambling there was Duffel. Now to Titcomb. Sheen is able to send it back to the middle now for Duffel.
It's kind of like a dominator, a little dominator here. Dominators where you let all 3 of your handlers just work. That's what they're doing. The rest of Seattle's just cleared out. They're letting Titcomb, Duffel, and Smart just run the whole thing through them, and they've already brought it down 70 yards. Already brought it down to the 30. Space
to work with here for Lonnie Wynn in the middle. Titcomb out
Ooh,
to
nice
the right.
mark.
Not to Duffel. Oh, good
Wow.
throw from Duffel.
Great throw from
And
Duffel.
a goal for Peter Geertz Larson. That's his first. Seattle spreading the wealth around today with 12 different scores. Back with more in a moment.
345.
We are back at Laney College then. Under 4 minutes to go. And the Cascades leading by 4. So it's a bit of a tall order now, perhaps, for the Flamethrowers here, Rubes, with the amount of time left on the clock.
Yeah, definitely a tall order. If they can, if they can somehow score this relatively quickly and then generate a block close to the Cascades end zone, then I like their chances a little bit better. But the problem is, time is not their friend here, and the Cascades have shown an ability to kind of run it through their handlers. They can just kind of dink and dunk, maintain possession, and just burn clock.
Ooh, coming back to make a nice catch there was Juan. Now Kearns floats this one up for Davis with one hand. It's Antoine Davis' 6th goal of the day.
So let's see if Seattle goes to the well here again, just by running everything through Titcomb, Smart, and Duffel like they did that last point. They seem to be their most steady players, and just run sort of a dominator through them. Let the three of them just work it all the way down within 20 or 30 yards, and then think about taking a shot into the end zone. Now, from the Flamethrowers' perspective, they're doing the same thing here. Let's lean on the guys that we know are proven, elite players. Kearns to Davis. We've seen that many, many times this season. It's almost like in a basketball game where you ISO the guy can get you that shot. Who's going to get you a bucket. Who's going to get the bucket for Seattle here.
3:23 to go. Fans are really trying their best to get behind the Flamethrowers here.
Oh, boy.
And there's the D that the Flamethrowers needed, courtesy of Cheryl Sue.
Number 46, Cheryl Sue with the takeaway.
Got to be calm here. This is a very important point.
Back inside to Xander Mask. Oh, Xander Mask made a tough catch there. Open is Jeffrey on the far side. Sue's looking around. Has to dump it off now to Barry. Barry being hounded here. Picks out the player for the goal. It's Xander Max. That's his first. And the Flamethrowers, Rubes, have cut it to 2 here.
Just like we wrote it up, just like we said. Score, come down, generate a D relatively close to the Cascades end zone. It's exactly what they did. I'm not sure what happened from Seattle's perspective there. That's kind of a cardinal rule. You never can turn that over on the first couple of passes off of the swing, off of the pull. And they were going back to Titcomb there. That was smart to Titcomb. That's their second miscommunication of this half. They've been really steady up until that point. Let's see if they can do it again here. Starts with a good pull. Get a good pull. That's part of the reason why Jeffrey's out there on the D-line is because he's a good puller.
And into the direction favors the Flamethrowers as well.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one.
Yep.
It's going to get down to around the 15.
Definitely a better than average pull there for the Flamethrowers. So now Titcomb and Smart will try to erase the memory of the previous point.
Oh, some confusion there. Jeffrey's pointing around.
Down open is Geertz Larson, who makes the catch on the doorstep. He has Wynn to his left. Calling for it wide open on the far side is Quant, but it doesn't matter. They'll pick out Lonnie Wynn for her second. And it's a big gut punch there.
That is a crusher. The Flamethrowers came down and almost stopped playing. It almost looked like they were expecting a call or something like that. They heard a whistle blow. You saw Jeffrey pointing around. It leaves somebody all open all the way downfield. Wow, puts it right, like you said, right on the doorstep. So all that momentum that the Flamethrowers just had there, the air's kind of, sucked out of the room a little bit. I will bet you this is going to be a 3-throw string to Marcelo Sanchez deep.
You heard it from the man himself.
They got to score. They got to score fast. It's going to be either Kearns or Lou putting up to Sanchez.
Pumping it to him.
Pumping it, jacking it, uncorking it.
So a little over 2.5 minutes remain then in this inaugural Flamethrowers Cup. The Flamethrowers trailing by 3. Here's Kearns.
There he goes.
There goes Sanchez.
Yep. Doesn't work out this time.
He's working against Shane Worthington, by the way. He's certainly an equal in terms of height is concerned.
Definitely, and I think Worthington's quite fast, too.
Here we go,
boy.
Pan. Man, Sanchez has a step, and Worthington deflects it away from Sanchez.
Yeah, nice D from Worthington there. You knew it's coming. You know it's coming. It's getting late in the game here. Sanchez is definitely the biggest deep threat on the field for the Flamethrowers.
He had the luxury that time, Rubes, of really being able to dictate his positioning, knowing Sanchez really had to go for it that time.
Now, when you play against a taller defender, what Sanchez is trying to do there is he's really trying to drive Worthington underneath and let it go over both of their heads. The problem is you need to drive that guy far enough underneath that it's going to get over his head, and he's already pretty tall. So that means it's probably going to go over your head, too. But wow, that was a big chance right there. Now they just got a clamp on D. I bet you Davis is going to be in on this D line. Probably Lou as well. Yeah, there's Davis. Looks like he's going in. So they need to just clamp down, get a block here in the next, 2 or 3 passes within 30 yards of the end zone.
So a little over 2 minutes remain. A reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here on the 16th here at Laney College as the Flamethrowers and the Spiders will compete in the 4th and final game of their season series. Can the Flamethrowers beat the Spiders here at home? You'll have to join Rubes and I on June 16th, a Saturday, to find out. Although the Flamethrowers AUDL season's destiny could be decided by that point, because that is quite the road trip they have coming up, that trip to LA.
Okay, this is going to be another, I'm sorry to interrupt, this is going to be another dominator. You're going to see that all of the Seattle team is stacked to one. They're on the sideline. They're leaving the field wide open for the handlers here. They're just going to stay out of the way, let the handlers work. Kearns is playing off of his person, sort of playing a little bit of center field D here. He's going to poach off and hope he can kind of get some. Oh, it works. Yep, they try to run a dominator, but Titcom's not out there this time. Makes a big difference.
Byron Lou was really all over the throw at that time. That was Duffel with the throw. Wow, that's low catch there. Digging that off the ground was Devin Williams.
Well, they've got a chance here.
Oh, good throw and a catch and a goal for Byron Lou. Byron Lou wants to hurry things up here. It's back to within 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go.
So this is a funny little backhand here. He's got the disc in his backhand grip, so that's just an easy, quick release for him. Yep, and Byron's saying, let's go, pump that fist. So Seattle comes out with that dominator look again, and from San Francisco's perspective, now they're getting a little predictable. So if you're going to be a defender on that stack that's pushed all the way to one side of the field, you can stay off your person 20, 25 yards, make them, make you play defense. You can stay off that guy or girl and poach the lane a little bit, make it a little harder on those handlers. Duffel's out there again, as is Smart and Titcomb, so I suspect it's going to be the same. Oh, boy, is it offsides again? Man. It's the second one this game.
And they've both been massively
big
inopportune
times, yes.
And this is a real Tough one for the
that's
Flamethrowers to
rough.
swallow.
They don't need to run a dominator here. Now they're close enough that they can just get into their standard offense.
Geertz lost. And,
Oh, back shoulder.
and somehow Smart is able to get in front of Davis. Now Smart calling for his duffel. He'll get the disc. 1:20 to go.
A lot of faking.
Cascades just content to take time off the clock. Here's Wynn. That's going to hold up. Oh, and almost getting there was Hassler for the Flamethrowers. But they continue to chew time off the clock. This blade into the end zone and a goal for Ryan Segal, the second of the fourth quarter. And Segal comes up big with 2 goals here tonight. He had 2 last Friday. And might that seal it here for the Cascades?
Yeah, I think that's probably going to do it, unfortunately, for San Francisco. They have their chances, but you know, we've been talking about making the adjustment to Pro Ultimate. One of them is you got to stay on sides. If you're not on sides when you pull, there's a penalty, and the penalty is the opposing team gets the disc in the middle of the field. Makes a big difference. So far, Seattle's offense generally has looked just cleaner than San Francisco's. Neither defense has really been doing too much to like get spectacular blocks, except for individual efforts. Byron Liu definitely making some amazing Ds in the fourth quarter to keep San Francisco in it. They just need to throw a quick goal here.
1 minute on the clock then in this inaugural Flamethrowers Cup, and it looks like it will be going back to Cascadia.
Cascadia?
Yeah. I was going to say, though, the Flamethrowers took the inaugural Cascades Cup, so the Cascades have exerted some revenge here with what surely now will be the victory, but let's just wait a second here and see what happens. Kearns.
Oh, a lot of open people.
Oh, what a perfect
Nice
throw. Outstanding. It's Jordan Jeffrey with his first. 34.8 to go. 2-goal lead.
Not dead yet, but tick, tick, tick here. If they can get down, if I was them, I would roll it out and throw a double team, but that's pretty risky with a bunch of people who have not played a lot of Pro Ultimate, because that's something that really benefits from having practiced in terms of figuring out what parts of the field you need to defend. But maybe if this was more than just an exhibition, they would try something like that. But for now, they're probably going to be, you know, happy to have put on a good show for the home crowd and really exciting game.
Melina Wiebe, the outstanding female player for the Flamethrowers, 3 goals and an assist. No shortage of heroines for the Cascades.
Oh, he caught it. Wow, that's a great pull.
That was
They
almost
got
away
a
the
double
goal
here.
line.
Yep, they got a double here. They're doing it. Oh, they're going to go. No, okay, now we can just kind of run it out. Unless they get a Callahan, which is not out of the realm of possibility.
Smart gets rid of it.
If the Flamethrowers were somehow the defender was managed to catch it in the end zone, it counts as a goal.
Cascades just running time off the clock. They will capture the inaugural Flamethrowers Cup as the Seattle Cascades mixed gender team take a 22-20 victory over the San Francisco Flamethrowers mixed gender team. Rubes, I'm going to go down the field. We're going to have an interview with Miss Wiebe, and who shall I interview from Seattle?
I don't know. I think Tickum would be an interesting person to talk to. She's now played with the men in quote unquote real AUDL games. I'd be curious to know what her perspective was from playing a more evenly distributed gender mix today.
I'm heading down to the field. The Cascades take the 22-20 victory. We'll take a break, and we'll be back hopefully with some interviews following this.
Welcome back to Laney College in Oakland, where we've just witnessed a very close contest between two of the AUDL's top mixed sides. The Seattle Cascades defeat the San Francisco Flamethrowers 22-20. Full house out here tonight. Really a beautiful evening. It's been kind of lousy weather in the Bay Area, but tonight, Memorial Day weekend comes through, sun shining. And you see both teams out there huddled up after a hard-fought contest that saw Cody Smart of the Seattle Cascades notch 6 assists. Assist leader for the San Francisco Flamethrowers was Eli Kearns, almost all of them, of his 4 assists coming in the fourth quarter. Ryan Segal of Seattle also having a great game, and Kelly Johnson throwing 3 assists as well. We got some replays here from action from tonight's game. This finishes the third quarter. Davis comes across with time really running out. I think he caught that as the horn blows to put him up. Here's Johnson with a great look to Quants, but Byron Liu makes up at least 3 steps to lay out past the much bigger man and make a phenomenal block. Byron Liu had a great fourth quarter. And then Kearns on a nice little rhythm forehand goal to a familiar face, Antoine Davis. And then Melina Wiebe, who we're going to be talking to here in the break, one of her many goals. And Smart throwing a crossfield hammer to Ryan Segal. And here's Barry to Max. San Francisco kept it close in the fourth quarter, but Seattle's offense just looked a little more consistent and composed as the game progressed. They definitely had their pecking order established. They were running most of their offense through Cody Smart, Sheena Titcomb, and Alex Duffel, running several dominator sets where they're really letting the handlers drive it all the way downfield within 20 or 30 yards of the end zone before the downfield cutters would activate. From the Flamethrowers perspective, it's kind of the regular faces. Right now we're going to throw it down to Stephen Davies on the field alongside Melina Wiebe.
Thanks, Rubes. I'm here with Melina Wiebe, 3 goals, 1 assist on the day. What was your experience playing out here tonight?
It was really fun. It's an honor to be out here with some great players and playing with men and women alike. And yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Disappointment with the loss today, but you have a chance to play again in a couple of weeks' time. Will you be able to make the trip up north?
I'm not sure yet. TBD. Hopefully.
Lastly, we got a call from someone in Oregon telling us how to pronounce your name. It's actually pronounced Wiebe, so I apologize for that. Do you think it was your mom? And if so, do you want to give her a shout-out?
I believe it was my mother. Thanks, Mom. I love you.
Melina Wiebe, ladies and gentlemen. Rube, stand by. We're going to have Sheena Tick come here in just a moment. Let's send him back upstairs.
Wiebe had a really nice game, both offensively and defensively. Sheena Titcomb was really just kind of crushing Flamethrower markers with her big around forehand, and Wiebe came in as a late matchup in the second half and made life much more difficult for her. If we look around the field, you see a lot of jerseys of all sorts of teams represented, some Flamethrowers, some other AUDL teams. UC Berkeley is definitely in attendance. Flamethrowers have a large contingent of UC Berkeley grads and a couple of current players. Some kids out there throwing. It's always a great event out at Laney, especially when the weather's nice. It's just a beautiful night out here. And let's send it back down to Steven once again alongside Sheena Titcomb.
Troops here with Sheena Titcomb. A victory tonight for the Cascades here, making up for last year's loss to the Flamethrowers. How does it feel?
It feels incredible. It feels incredible to be down here in San Francisco. Like you said, last year we lost and we were at home, so it was great to come out on the road and get a win for Seattle.
And, of course, now you'll host the second installment of the Cascades Cup coming up here in a couple weeks' time. Your thoughts on that matchup?
It'll be on June 9th, which is my birthday, which I'm really excited about, just to be in Seattle and really to build momentum between these two teams, just sort of the story between the teams, and just the energy behind putting men and women on the field together and showcasing that.
Lastly, the Seattle women in particular all seem to have outstanding efforts here tonight. What was your thought on the way that some of your teammates played tonight?
I think we demonstrated a lot of trust in each other, both in the reset space as well as with our cutters. And ultimately, I think that won us the game, just having that trust for each other.
Congratulations, Sheena. Safe trip back to Seattle. Rubes, to send it back upstairs to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great example. The Seattle offense definitely trusted each other to the tune of a 22-20 victory over the San Francisco Flamethrowers. We'll see you June 16th when the Flamethrowers face the San Jose Spiders for the last time in the 2017 seasons. Thanks for watching Bay Area Online Sports Network and 11 Sports USA as the Seattle Cascades defeat the San Francisco Flamethrowers 22-20. And as my announcing partner, Stephen Davies, would say, ciao for now.